Okay, so I got it assembled, but there is no way that I trust this thing to hold the amount of weight that I was thinking that I was going to put on it, so I might have to come up with something else. For the time being, I can start a few seedlings, and I'm going to figure out how to hang the light bulb from it. But I'm only going to be able to do a couple trays on this thing because there's no way it's going to hold the kind of weight that I wanted it to. Okay, I may have to go get a pair of pliers so that I can get those in a little bit tighter, but they're pretty tight and it hurts to do without pliers, so let's turn it on and see. Oh yeah. Alright, that's gonna give me some nice light. Now, just gotta get going with my plants. Alright, so I'm not gonna be able to put as much on here as I thought I was, but actually I'm not gonna be able to put as much on here as I thought I was just because of the size of the trays. It's not really wide enough. And I only had 3 trays anyway. So for the bottom, I'll put the ones that need the least amount of light. And I will get a lot of sunlight from my window every day anyway, but this way I can just turn this on in the late afternoon. And I work second shift, so I'll turn it on before I leave and shut it off when I get home. They'll get a few dark hours, and then sunlight comes streaming in the window in the morning, so yeah. I think that'll work. Show you the tray. Yep. That's kind of cool. They got a little guide here in case you want to do different seedlings in your trays. I think mine are all going to be the same thing though, so in each one anyhow. And some vitamins for the seedlings and little markers in case you want to do different things in the packet or in the tray. But I'm going to do, if my packets have enough in them, I'm going to do the same thing in each tray. I actually need to do 3 trays of cucumbers, 3 trays of tomatoes, and some peppers. So, not sure I'm going to be able to fit them all in this space. Might put some of them on the floor. They'll get sunlight during the day, they just won't get as much grow light. Actually, I think I put some of these upside down. Oopsie. Yep, I did. So this is only the second time that I've used this type of tray. I usually, like in the past, I've done like just used egg carton, cardboard egg cartons, or I've used the trays and used the cardboard, it's not really cardboard, what is it called? I can't think, but the little trays that come inside the plastic tray. And then like the next year you can just buy the trays without the plastic tray, because like I kept the plastic trays in it, but then I needed to replace the cardboard trays or whatever they're called. Alright, so at this point I think I need to water it, or do I put the seed in first? Trying to remind myself. Yep, 1.5 inches of warm water. Drain excess water when pellets are 1 to 1.5 inches tall. Add seeds by peeling back the netting and fluff the peat. Add 2 to 3 seeds per pellet. That's all pretty standard. Alright, let me get some water. Here's my thing. I don't like this cord being in the way. These lights should not get hot, but I don't really want it rubbing against, just in case. So let's try that. That should work. Although it wants to make the light go hang to the back. I don't want it to hang to the back. It's like I need to weigh it down somehow. Maybe like that. Okay. I gotta get my tray, get some water in my tray. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and water these. And apparently I'm not gonna add the water very well. I'm going to try to get a little bit on each one. Why do I feel like I'm leaking? Maybe it's just soaking in. I think it's just soaking in. Okay, let's try to let it soak in. Okay, so this one right here is a little bit wacky. I think the pouch was in the wrong direction. Or the hole, I mean, in it was on the side instead of the top. So something happened in manufacturing. But we'll dig a little hole there. And I think I'm going to put some more water on these when I'm done. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. This one here lost its little spot too. A couple of them did. Just going to kind of aerate it a little bit. And then you're supposed to drop 2 to 3 seeds per. I usually only use 2. I don't know, it just feels wasteful to do more than that. And in fact, in this particular case, I may just use 1 seed per, because I am not going to fill up this whole tray with what's in this little pouch. So I guess I can put some of them together in the same tray. And I dropped one. Cover that over with soil. Whoa, don't want to push too hard. This is not the sturdiest of little fixtures. So we'll kind of do it that way. That way I kind of break up some of the the soil is still a little stiff, or I guess it's not really soil, it's a composty peat moss pellet pack thing. cover it over, tear the top a little bit more. I think this is only going to be about 3 rows worth. I may need to go down to my seed stash and get some more seeds. And like I said, it tells you to do 2 or 3 per pellet, but I think 1 will be fine. We'll do a little test and find out. Okay, all but 1. Alright, so I am going to go water the other 2 trays that I have. I'm going to go find some more seed because I only have 2 other packets of cucumber seed. I don't want to put them all in the same tray, but I have some green peppers and tomatoes that I want to do too. So with cucumbers, I think I can put the tomato seeds in and there won't be any kind of seedling cross-pollination. I don't think seedlings usually cross-pollinate that easy. It's usually more when the plant gets a little bit older and starts growing, setting fruit. So, all right, let me do that and I'll be back. Oh, I don't think I used warm enough water. Well, I guess we're about to find out. I think I might have a leak. Sure enough. This is why I hate buying these trays. Well, I'll have to go get another tray and put this inside of a tray. Luckily, I have some old ones. Okay, I got another tray to put underneath this. So hope, and I tested that one out and it's not leaking, so. However, shoot, I should probably figure out how to put a piece of tape over that before going too far, because it's just gonna go down into the reservoir. Well, it'll be all right. It'll hold some water in the reservoir of the other tray, but it's so dry up here, it'll probably be fine. All right, so I'm just gonna pull these apart a little bit, put some seed in, and we'll call this tray done. So in previous years, I have done some seed saving, and I believe this year I'm going to be doing that again, because this was a $1.99 packet. And that's how much seed you get from it. I don't know, I just feel like it ain't hardly worth it anymore. I could get this much seed out of one cucumber this summer. Even the seedless. And again, I'm only gonna do one per, just because I don't know, I just feel wasteful with the seed. I don't really want to waste the pellets either, but pull this off a little bit here. That's a little one, so I'll probably put a second little one in there. Oop. Oops, oopsie, oopsie. The last one there. And I'll kind of squeeze these and get that work down in there. Make sure my top gets open. This was when it pays not to have had a manicure recently. Either that or you gotta wear gloves. I almost never remember to wear my gloves until I've stuck my fingers in the dirt. I'm squeezing out some of the excess water too. But mostly it's wanting to make that peat so it's not so, or pellet I should say, so it's not so stiff. I want to break it up so the roots can start growing nice and easy. I did not soak these seeds beforehand. Sometimes I do with certain seeds, but I think these are going to be pretty well soaked from the soaking of this soil. Actually, that one needs a bit more. And so does this one. I can feel the dryness of it. Okay, so I got my seedling trays together. One of them's a little bit too damp. One of them might be a little bit too dry. I'm gonna soak them again tomorrow. A little bit, not really soak them, but you know, add a little more water tomorrow just to make sure that they're nice and moist. I generally only do peppers and tomato plants for seedling. But this year I'm going to try to do cucumbers as well. And so just getting my seedlings started, and next thing you know I'll be working on some raised beds and tilling up the rest of the garden and getting my sweet corn planted and all that. May seems like it's just around the corner. But I figured I'd get my seedlings started, that way they can be growing all the month of March and April, and hopefully be nice size by the time they need to go outside in May. And I should say, and right now it is the middle of the night, so there are no other lights on in this room, just the grow light here. And as you can see, the way this fixture is, I'm going to have, it's not going to be able to get enough light to the bottom portion here. So honestly, that grow light, I could put these trays on the floor and they're gonna get enough light to it. So I might just do that. I actually have a second grow light, so I might try to figure out how to attach one under here, and these are actually connectable lights, so I might figure out how to put some screws in there, and or in the second tier. This one's actually in the middle, and then there's a bottom tier down here. So, but if I was gonna do that, I might as well just put them out on the floor, because the floor is plenty bright right now. And honestly, they're gonna get a lot of good light during the day. So I'm probably just gonna leave it the way it is. And I will turn these every day anyway, just so that both sides get equal amount of sunlight. That is one of the other factors. The sunlight that's coming in through the window is going to get to the fronts of these trays more than it's going to get to the back. So you should turn them every day, or every so often anyhow. Alright, well, we'll see what we have growing by the end of the week. Okay, so I started my cucumber and tomato seedlings, and as you can see, I started actually some more seedlings. I'll show you some of the packets here. Started some different flower seedlings as well. So I don't want to open up the tray necessarily, but I think you can kind of see a couple of little flower seedlings starting in there. They're not very tall yet, so I don't want to open that just yet. But this tray right here is getting a good amount of light. It's nighttime right now, and you can see it's getting a pretty decent amount of light, even though the light is pretty far away. It's casting onto the floor, so I actually will probably put a lot more of my plants out on the floor than I will on the rack here. The rack is certainly nice for not having to bend over and feed them and things like that. But honestly, you only have to feed your plants once a day, so not a big deal. And actually not even really that much. As long as they're still in the... this particular tray hasn't germinated yet, but as long as they're still in there, I don't have to do anything just yet. But what I want to concentrate on right now is these are tomato seedlings in this tray right here. Well, there's a few flowers in the back there, but they're kind of just starting back there. But these are tomato seedlings here, and they are very, very leggy. So there's an actual scientific term for that, but I can't think what it is right now. But they're very, very spindly because they're trying to reach for the sun, and they're trying to reach for this light here at night. But they're trying to reach for the sun through the window to the side of me. So I'm going to take this tray, and I actually have another room that gets a lot of sunlight, and the window is actually much closer. I can place this much closer. And it's a little hobby room that I have, so I'm gonna move those over to there. So my cucumber seedlings have gotten very, very leggy already from, well, searching for the sunlight. So you can see this one here still only has its true leaves, or sorry, still only has its first two leaves. And it's starting to develop its true leaves there in the center. So I want to go ahead and pot it with some more soil, and I'm going to get it someplace that it's getting a lot more sunlight and can get more light in the evening hours as well. So for now, actually I need to dig out a little bit more soil out of that one. Got it just a little too tall. So we'll set this fellow way down in here. And then I'll add some soil around. Get it propped up a little bit more. try to get it somewhere it's getting some more light, so it gets less leggy and starts putting some more leaves out. Quite getting it centered there. And as you can see, I'm doing this somewhere where I'm going to be able to clean the table off fairly easily. This fella really is wanting to go flopsy. Well, hopefully I can do some others a little bit better than this one. I probably should have started just by putting it on the bottom instead of putting some soil in the bottom. But I wanted a little bit of soil in the bottom so that it has room for its roots to grow a little bit more in length. But we'll see. This one I'm just gonna stick in the window over here in the garage, and we'll see how it goes. This time of afternoon it's gonna get quite a bit of sunlight there. So, and I'm gonna do the same here. I'll put a little bit of soil at the bottom of this. Not too much. Maybe a little bit more than that. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and pick out 3 that are doing okay. Let's see. And here's where it's a little bit tricky. And in fact, maybe I'll just pick out I think I'll go ahead and do 3. So I'm going to try to give you a little bit more of a close-up here. Doesn't want to focus. 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 So it is starting to get its true leaves there. So hopefully those will take off. And hopefully I'm giving it enough room for its roots. Get some soil in here. You know what, I'm just gonna grab This is why I put my gloves on, because I just wanted to grab dirt and make a mess. In fact, I'm thinking I should put this right in here. Wouldn't that be smarter? Work smarter, not harder. That might have got a little bit too much of it. So, and I just buried a little bit more of the stem to get them growing upright a little bit more. And then this container is actually just a cottage cheese container. It's got some holes in the bottom, and I put this underneath, and hopefully that'll hold the excess water. Just put that up there in that window. And hopefully it doesn't get too cold out here for it. So some of the ones, I'm kind of putting them in different places to see how things go here. I've not started seedlings in this house before, so just not real sure what's going to be my best lighting situation and temperature. So out here my dad turns on the heater there at different times, and then, you know, shuts it off, of course. And so I'm not real sure if it's gonna get too much heat. This time of day it'll definitely get enough sun though. Alright, so I've got a whole tray full to get replanted. So I got some of these kind of pots, and I'm gonna pot some of them up and take them back to the other window in an inside room that's hopefully warm enough. Well, I mean, it's warm enough for me, so it should be warm enough for them, right?